Hey. What up, though?
What up?
The music still got a little hump in it.
It's gonna always have some hump in it. What's up? What's up, y'all?
Okay.
Right?
What's going on, everybody? This is your girl F.L.O.R.
This is I, Emery.
And I'm your favorite healthy hustling mama, Jared Paris Vine.
We just want to welcome you guys to this episode of Crucial Convos. We decided to switch it up a bit, I guess, and really get into some stuff that's common. You know what I mean? Because I feel like a lot of people are having kind of the same issues with this dating in the world today. Okay. I don't really know if it's just me. Like, I've been married for a long time. So what y'all going through? What y'all going through? Look at her face.
I mean, at first, I think we need to just talk about what is dating? Because I mean, what is it? Is it still? Do we still say talking, then dated? Is it stages to this stuff still?
I remember when it was kicking it. You feel me? I don't know. What is dating? Per Google.
That's a tough one.
Per Google.
Oh, what Google say?
Google said. Dating is a term coined in America to signify that a stage of romantic relationships in which two individuals engage in activity together, most often with the intention of evaluating each other's suitability as a partner in a future intimate relationship.
Oh, yeah. So dating is still the same thing. So you can be dating multiples, right?
Yeah, it didn't say one individual. It said persons, people.
Yeah.
Like it's. I thought dating was the intention of creating something in the future. You feel what I'm saying? Like, is that not the basis of?
I feel like it's getting to know you, like just like that. I mean, you gotta. I mean, that's where it gets weird. I think that's why I started with that question right. because
it's one of the season.
that all right went there. Definitely all right fucking went there, dude. Not getting to know you, like.
Well, I mean, that's what per Google, I'm aligned to that because I feel like I had to ask myself that because I felt it here recently when you're not having those conversations when you're just talking or dating or really defining it, people get their feelings hurt quick, and getting your feelings hurt as an adult, my God, the pride.
It's a mess. I don't know. I feel like just dating is like, you know, when you go on, it's pretty much like the interview process.
Yeah.
It's like you're interviewing for a job, but it's, you know, you're interviewing for a potential mate, you know, someone who you can kind of, you know, build with. I think it definitely needs to be defined early on just to see what y'all going to do, because everybody's idea of it is different. Some people have a romanticized idea, you know, something they grew up thinking about it should be. Some others are like more so just what it really is. So talking about it up front is really necessary because everybody's idea, just like y'all said, is different.
Right.
And like Google said, you're supposed to do things together with the intent to become intimate. So I think a lot of times people forget that. They get caught up in dating. We didn't say a relationship. We just said we're dating. And it gets real weird on both sides.
Nor was it a one-night stand or a fling. You feel what I'm saying? It's
right,
like you made it that.
Like if that's what you want, you have to identify that that's what you guys created. You can't be mad that you agreed to this when he proposed this, and now that y'all live in this and you expected something different. That's not what he proposed in the beginning. He told you what he wanted. You agreed. Y'all live in it, so you have to be okay with it. I think that's the coin that's thrown into the water that ripples shit because this was proposed. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm different. Like we always say, he gonna do different for me because, you know, I'm different. When the reality was what he wanted, what he was ready for, boom, he laid that out on the line. So y'all can't keep saying, you know, guys are lying or he led me on or, you know, like, not really.
You better, and I was just thinking too, like when we almost ask for expectations almost too soon. You meet somebody one turn, and what are you looking for? Hell, I don't know your name, maybe. And
Right.
can I see you might eat weird or smell weird or something. I think we forget, like we be so ready to already be so far, and it's so easy to do because you excited. But I think a lot of times people forget that. I mean, we get to know you for a second.
But for guys, does it give desperation though?
Man, kind of. That doing it that way can definitely kind of give you the vibe like, oh, she desperate. Some guys will prey on that, you know what I'm saying, and others are repulsed by it. And some is just, it's cool. You can just see it, and you see how she's moving, and you just kind of adjust accordingly. So I think it just depends on who you with, who you got, and how they. And then some guys may not even see that as nothing. It just made me like she owned me, like she really like me, nigga, like she like me.
Which is the individuals who want the ones who can't identify the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, gonna bring just as much drama to the table as you're gonna bring. People who love that type of, reaching out or like that's weird to me.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot weird, and it definitely takes over the your whole process. It really takes over the process when you are the one like being naive or missing what's obviously there. You know what I'm saying? So, just having them tough convos in the beginning and not like an interrogation, because too many times, especially with women, y'all have this list of everything y'all want to know. But it turns into an interrogation. Y'all don't see it that way. I just really want to know what's wrong with me wanting to know. You will be, you know what I'm saying? Like you will get missed, or you'll get put into a different kind of category.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna hate that. And then, why am I being treated like,
Yeah. And I think that goes into, which I had a question first, like how do you get into dating? But when you say that too, it almost gets weird than women when they feel it, because I thought that, I've seen people be like, well, it's just questions. If you can't, like, what's weird with that? But then when it happens to women, that stuff does not feel good, because you like, especially as you age and mature, but people don't really. I think I heard something which helped me before, going through getting back into like dating scene or whatever, is like you should always be evolving. A lot of times we date the same person just in a different body.
Almost every time.
Yeah, because you're not even taking a moment to even look at yourself. Because I feel like a lot of stuff that you don't like that happens is stuff that you gotta look internal. So even like starting like how you even get out into the dating scene, I've been spending more time now. Like, this feels weird. This feels like taking me back to back in the day, and I don't want to feel that way no more. So
yeah, you have to really it's them conversations that you don't have, and the secret hidden expectations. I'm holding you to this standard that you have no clue about, and in my mind it's common sense, so you should know.
Yeah.
But you don't have a clue because I haven't laid it out. So you do some stuff that I don't like, and I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
For something and then we just getting together. You don't even know me all the way. You know what I'm saying? And that type of stuff happens on both ends.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of messes. So much has to line up for adult relationships to work. For new grown people to work out. So many things gotta line up. And
I got a question, Em, because you've been dating a little bit long. So you think about, because now I hear a lot of guys saying, which I agree with, our women it's time for us to be a little softer, and you can't want a man to be a man if you're trying to take his spot too. But like, what are the expectations as a man, like getting back into dating now? Like, how do you even get that started? Because, if it's not too much and people have been out of the swing of things for a long time, it's scary out there, and rejection or the anticipation of that is like...
So that's a little different, because y'all are usually not rejected in the grand scheme. Like if you want something from a guy, there's a great chance you'll get it, whatever it is. It's not the same for a guy. So for most guys, we're kind of used to being rejected. So we'll go for what we want, which is why there's so many guys who are just who don't qualify for you, will step to you. Because they like... I've been rejected a billion times. I don't care. I'm finna go for it. You have not because you asked not. Type of thing. You know what I'm saying?
What's going on?
Right. So, but then to get to that place, like what men, it really depends on what that man or on that man. I think some overall blanket things are respect and honor that we look for from our girls. Being able to have reverence for us, not necessarily like you're a peon, but to understand the hierarchy of a functional, normal relationship. Whatever, without trying to get too deep, just how stuff should normally go. Those are just some, expectations for a woman. Like most men don't want a hard woman. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes sense to her. Like, a guy should want somebody who's tough and who can do that. It's not what we want. For the most part. Some guys don't mind, whatever. But for the blanket thing, most of us don't. And it's to be honest, it's the exact same way that girls don't want a feminine man. I made a status maybe yesterday or the day before. I was like, no, a homeboy of mine made it. I just reposted it. He was like, I'm gonna be feminine until the right woman comes along and makes me masculine. And it sounded so retarded. But from how so many women speak, it really sounds retarded to us as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be masculine until the right guy that can handle me or that can put me in my place or that I feel safe enough. Whatever the terms we use, you have to choose it. But that is called, in my opinion, conditional femininity. And I don't think guys don't want, just in general, guys don't want a girl who can be feminine. They want a girl who is feminine. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same about girls don't want a guy who can be masculine. You want a guy who is.
Yeah.
And y'all's trauma, like our trauma, like it don't matter. If I was a little razzle dazzle, these chicks wouldn't care about why I'm that way.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't care if my mama raised me, my dad used to beat my mom, whatever my reason for why I'm a little feminine, you wouldn't care. But on the same token, women want us to care about why they're masculine. Oh, I had to do it. And that goes back to how something I always say in our previous seasons, your excuses don't mean as much as you think they do. They are there, and there is a place for them, but they don't mean as much as we think they do. They just don't, because people don't care like that. It's like, I don't care if if your reasoning for being masculine is because you're a single mom who's had to do the hard stuff by herself. That don't matter to me. It just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Can you, have you healed enough? Are you prepared for a relationship? Have you done the work from your last one to this one to be prepared for one? Or have you just added new boundaries and, new stuff that you won't take? You know what I'm saying? My last guy used to smack me. So when I see him raise his hand, I can't do it. So everybody going forward, if I see his hand go up, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And that, which to me shows that you're not healed. So but it's pretty much specific to guys. There are some overall blanket stuff, like I kind of pointed out, but everybody's different. Which is why I say it's so hard so much got to line up.
Even push through. I feel like if y'all feel like it's hard dating to find a husband or a spouse, imagine how hard it is to date within that marriage when you found that individual. Because mind you, they do a lot to get you, vice versa. But when it's time to keep you, a lot of that effort, a lot of that fuck around to find out is kind of dwindled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially kids.
It's like,
Okay.
So for me, where I am right now, I'm trying to introduce dating to my husband because we never dated, even in the beginning. You feel what I'm saying? It was just us parents. And he was 17 when we met. So imagine being 17, coming into a ready-made family and having to find your way, get in where you fit in. So now that they're gone, and I'm like, all right, let's go here, let's go there. Like this is the initial reaction, but then when we do it, it's like, I'm happy you made me do it. So it's very important on either way. If you're single dating, trying to find that forever relationship, or if you're in that forever relationship to keep it a forever relationship, resentment is built when one party of a marriage has one heart to do one thing, and then that other party is like, nah, we don't need to do that. We got to pay bills. No, we can't do that. I want to buy a motorcycle. I digress. Let me bring it
back. All right.
Like that's just what I'm faced with. So because this is what I want to do, I'm tasked with paying for it. You feel what I'm saying? To show like, all right, I'm not expecting for you to cough up all of the money. I'm proposing this to you, and I'm willing to take all. I'm willing to take the responsibility financially, planning it, like all of that. Just for me to show you this could happen. So
yeah.
It's hard.
And I think especially like I was saying that I think I made a post or something about like especially getting your feelings hurt and as an adult and being dating. I think people really forget what dating is, and it's a risk. Like guys are out here taking you on buku dates, spending all this money. They don't even really know if you sticking around or not. So I feel like for myself, when I'm pitching a lot of women, especially new moms and all of that stuff, like, have you ordered them something? It blows my mind when women don't know what to buy their guys. Like you don't got no idea.
I agree.
Like, what you mean you don't do birthdays? And I think people forget. Go ahead.
Because they haven't listened within those conversations that they've had.
Like, girl, how you want him to know what you want and you don't know what he wants?
Right. Because they're normally used to getting whatever they want, and they have lived their lives overall that way.
And it shows in parenting and everything, because I run into people who be wanting to be so happy to leave a man, talk about they a single mom or don't have no help. All of that. People be telling me, I'm like, what? The village around me go crazy. Who's a single mom?
Right.
But it's the same in relationships too. I think I remember it's just like that give and take. Because when you were like, let me calm down, I think about that now. When you get it in there, it's like gambling and dating. And them triggers pop out of nowhere. So I think now I'm like, if you could really just learn and ask yourself that same angry questions before you put him in a chokehold, you'll remember like, oh, we're just dating. I literally met him at the club and I could probably calm down.
Mm-hmm. I've also learned that Emery, tell me why guys are like this. You guys pick, right? Like some guys get a kick out of just revving their women up, right? Not in a bad way, but just irritating her.
Okay.
So when she responds, then they kind of back off like, whoa.
That crazy.
It wasn't that serious. You know what I'm saying? But mind you, this buildup has been building since the first time you tapped me and I'm like, chill, like, I got a headache or, I
don't like being tickled.
I don't want to be tickled. Like, don't lick my face. Like, stop grabbing my tit. It hurts. Like, just...
I'm grabbing on it. No, you gonna have to fight.
Let's not even talk about sore titties right now because
shit, and then
that's happening. I'm sorry.
When you respond in the way that you respond, and it's like, oh, you overreacted, or how am I to determine, or how do I control? Because it's a lot of times, like Paris said, that I have to be like, all right, hold on. Let me remove myself because I feel this and it don't be that serious. You feel me? It just be a poke or a tug.
You might be hungry or tired or dealing with the kids. Like, if people don't realize, like, before you got pissed off, how was your day?
She's that hungry though.
No, I mean, I'm not myself when I'm hungry. I used to get cussed out. Like, keep a snack in your pocket, Paris.
How do, as women, we just kind of calm ourselves down, you feel me, to not take, for y'all, like, for us to not take it over there to what we can't bring.
You just have to understand what he's actually doing in that moment. In that moment, he's really not trying to annoy you. He needs some attention. He needs some affection. So he's playing playfully because most likely if he's doing it that way, he can't express it.
Yeah.
Like he may not even have the actual vocabulary to, you know what I'm saying? So he's just playfully trying to get a reaction so you can react in that way, not go to 10.
Yeah.
But if you know your man or you know your girl and that's what she on or that's what he on, you know, if you're having a day or not, you still have to like, let me take a step back before I go all the way here. He know I don't like this. You're doing all the stuff that I hate, but he's doing it for, you know, he needs some affection right now.
Right.
So I can either fight with him, like go all in, or I can just give him the affection he needs, or I can say, just give me a minute and I'll beat it. You know, I got you. There are different ways, but if your mindset isn't to serve your partner, you'll miss it every time. You'll get in because you feel like, you know, they know I hate my face licked, right? So why would you do that? You know, I hate last time you did that. All of that is true, but it's like, what's our goal? Like it should be me and you against the issue, not me against you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always hard in the moment, but that's why you have to be you have to calm yourself throughout the relationship.
And then that brings like that post you said, like being masculine and all that stuff. I think when I was younger, I had a bad habit of using my hands to talk, like because the guys are bigger. You know, why am I hitting on you? And I think that's the same thing with hollering and yelling at people. Most men are not trying to do all that hollering and stuff. And if they are, something is the matter. So I think what helps me a lot is he better not be yelling at me. So I should probably not be acting crazy, especially with not apologizing. And I think I'm running into a lot of adults now in friendships and everything. People don't really apologize. I apologize, and I don't have to apologize often. I think Misha talks about that a lot, not doing stuff or putting yourself in situations where you need to apologize all the time. Am I echoing?
A little bit, but it's really just about being accountable.
Yeah.
There's something in us, man, from our generation on down, from us. I'm sure it's our mamas and them too, but from us on down, we don't want to be wrong. We don't want you to look at us like we're wrong. We don't want you to tell us nothing because we right. You know what I'm saying? And even if we're not, we'll lie. I've had instances where people will lie to keep me from being right about them. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like, you know, because it's like for some reason we just cannot take the shame of being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sucks. And like as you go on, and as you're not, and then don't be able to argue well. If you one of the mouthy types who can argue well, you're not apologizing for anything. But they got me on camera. It wasn't me.
Yep.
That's what you're gonna be on. It's automatic because it's a thing right now. Being held, and then if somebody try to hold you accountable, that's seen as an attack. You coming at, you know. There's another instance where I knew this chick just couldn't at this point just couldn't let me be right, quote unquote. So I would like do reverse psychology on her. I would say the opposite on purpose because I know she's gonna do the opposite, which is really what I wanted to do anyway.
That's too much.
Exactly, it's too much, but I would do it, and every single like clockwork, it was amazing, and the chick never knew, and I never told her I was doing it, and just because we don't want to be held accountable. You know, you don't want nobody to be right about you. Like nobody should be right about me, more right about me than I am, and then I don't want to be held accountable if I'm wrong. I'm gonna find the little angle that you were wrong, and I'm gonna exploit that little bitty piece. Make that bigger than my thing, my role in it, to get the heat off me.
So do you feel like that stemmed from being punished as a child or not being punished as a child?
Most likely just from not being heard, because there were some times where you got your butt whooped and you were supposed to. But then there's times where you got in trouble and you wasn't wrong. And you know, like I said, for our generation, our parents wasn't listening.
Right.
To a certain extent, maybe a little bit, but they wasn't really listening. So then, you know, years and years of you just trying to prove yourself to your teachers, to your friends, to your parents, to your church people, who, you know, your circle, your community. I think that, and then just like I said, if you're able to argue well, you're not going to apologize. That's going to create a sense of like I'm just usually not wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then it just keeps going and going, and it goes in relationships. And then because we also we can find justifications for anything.
Whatever.
Like every time, anytime. If I kill a nigga right now, I can find a way to justify it.
I was mad that day.
Right.
Right.
I can't say just like, man, that was stupid of me. I shouldn't have did it, and then take what comes with it.
Right.
No, I'm gonna say I shouldn't have did that, but he looked at me funny, or he stepped on my brand new J's, or
made me feel away.
Pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Because we have to relieve the pressure of the shame of being wrong, and that's what that with coupled with our ego, I'd say, is what keeps us in this same type of place. Because your ego will, and so in my opinion, this is how you know if it's your ego or if it's just how you think, your own consciousness. If you get new information and you stick to your own stupid ways, that's your ego.
Yeah.
If you get new, okay, 2 + 2 is 13. Now you find out 2 and 2 is 4. If you keep arguing for 13, that's ego. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happens also too. It's like, well, there's a little way around something. It's just like, no, everything isn't black and white, but a whole bunch of stuff is.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't talk about the stuff that is. We want to make a gray area to give us a little grace to be different. Some things are black and white. Everything isn't, but a lot of them is. So we don't like black and white if it's not on our spectrum.
Yeah.
We want it in gray.
And I feel like, a lot of things come to mind too when people don't really know themselves, and then environment and old triggers. Like sometimes you've never been through something and you've had like a good life and never really been through anything. You don't realize that you arguing with these men because of a conversation you need to have with your dad or your uncles or cousins. Like I think of growing up, especially me being raised by my grandmother and my granddad being, you didn't ask my granddad no questions. But he was a good man. But then like we talked about, I think before the show, don't talk to nobody who been married over 20, 30 years because they done been through some stuff. But what I didn't realize with my granddad, like you don't ask him questions and he's a good man doing whatever. But these other guys, you probably should ask a few more questions. But in my head, I'm being taken care of. I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm supposed to be quiet and still cook and just wait until, so that stuff doesn't go away until you exposed to something, or exposed to better.
I also feel like that's when the blurred line to domestic violence come in and take over. You know what I'm saying? Because she feels from what she saw, from what she's been taught, that you don't question, you sit there, you do this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So that fear stays there and it takes them to such a deeper part of bullshit. And once they get into that rut, it'd be so hard for them to find that strength to pull themselves back up just to mediocrity, right? Just to average, not even sparkling like to her fullest potential, not even a little bit. Yeah. She's literally just going to the bathroom to put deodorant on every day. I ain't got time to brush my teeth. I just don't want to stink that bad. Like, for real. And that's the part where I'd be like, that's when I question, do I praise the individuals who brought me, the males who brought me to where I am right now? Or, do I resent because I was that masculine female and had to learn over years through trial and error to soften up? You know what I'm saying? But had it not been for the teachings of the men that was in my life, where would I have been? Because I was that one who just wanted to be accepted at one point. You feel me? I was that one who just wanted to be your friend at one point. You know what I'm saying? So for me to go there and be able to get to a point of, all right, I'm dope. Like you're missing out, Had I not had that security, and it wasn't there from the females in my family. It was never created from the females in my family. Not my mom, not my granny, not my aunt, like none of them, because they were suffering as well. You feel what I'm saying?
That's the actual key right there. They couldn't give you what they didn't know.
So they couldn't
that generation was a lot different than now. Nowadays, if you didn't have a mom or a dad around, you can still raise kids well. You can still be a good parent yourself. You know what I'm saying? But in those days, the help wasn't available. The thought process wasn't available. It was 100% acceptable to have a man who would cheat and beat on you as long as he's paying for the bills. Yep. That was 100% acceptable then. It kind of still can be now, but it's not 100% like it was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that switch is what may have you in the place of, do I resent them or do I praise them for it? Because you have other options now. Back then, our parents didn't necessarily have options. They had to stick with their guy for the most part. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now it's like, I don't have to. And then not only do I not have to stay with this guy, I can be in control of my own life. I can have my own. I can have my business. I can be a millionaire. I can, you know what I'm saying? And so, but what comes with that mindset takes away from the femininity, which is a part that we don't talk about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, and then if you've been single for any amount of time and you're a woman,
it just gets worse.
The older we get, we are creatures of comfort. Number one, we drive to work for the most part the same way. We go to the same grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? We go to the same couple stores for our clothes. We're really, you know what I'm saying? The older we get, the more we want stuff exactly how we want it. And then the less space we even have for relationships. We want to make a relationship fit in this perfect little. I cut out a diamond of space.
I've been guilty, right?
I cut out a diamond of space for a relationship. I need you to fit in this diamond.
Yeah.
Now it's not working. Okay, then fine. I don't even care.
Right.
But now you're still single and now you're still alone because we want. It's unrealistic to make some, you know, because they got their own ideas for what they want in a relationship, but you want to force them into what on the only space that you created for them.
You,
right?
And it's so crazy. I think even now, I didn't even really understand my abandonment issues until 8 years ago, and it came from a traumatic relationship. And then after that, I feel like I'm educated, been to therapy, but it was still stuff I couldn't even identify. Like. Yeah, because I was still like, I mean, in that like mindset, communication, all stuff, I've been a little bit more advanced than the guys, and they've been amazing guys, but in that one, it's hard for them to really give me real feedback. I had to learn on like developing my own self, but that all takes self-reflection and really being able to remember, like, I want to love this person or serve this person or what I want, and then people forget like to really treat people how you want to be treated, even with all those circle back conversations, because I'm acting crazy like that because you didn't show up, because the last time a nigga did that my day or somebody, he was really gone forever. So, you know, I didn't realize I was acting crazy. But at the same time, I do realize, like you said, you was going to be here and you not. And when men do that, normally they gone forever. So it's such a balance of really trying to communicate and giving people some grace and room to grow.
Yeah.
It's always fueled disappointment and abandon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think every single dramatic situation is fueled from the abandon and the disappointment, but I feel like the individuals who feel the need to stay within their feminine masculinity, they are driven from that place. You know what I'm saying? Because they've already conjured in their head that it's going to be disappointment here because it was disappointment there, and everywhere I turn, the only way that the disappointment is not there is because I've stood up and made it happen for myself, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I get frustrated, because a lot of individuals fail to give God praise within that realm. Like, a lot of people take that praise for themselves. You know, I did it, or you know, I'm the reason why this happened, or well, never mind the fact when you actually were crying and you were talking, you probably didn't know who you was talking to. You feel me? Like, you probably,
the universe.
You feel right. You probably just felt like you were just
vocal stage,
verbalizing your feelings. I also understand why they go to the spiritual side of it, but you still have to honor someone on their spiritual side. Yeah. You know, the universe is not just you know, it's, to me, the universe is an entity, right? Like, it's just there, but it has to be something connected to that to guide it, you know, to perform out of it. So
it's not a lot of room given for ideas. A lot of times, if people would just, where's my favorite thing? Just be quiet and let me try and process. Because sometimes people, this stuff is hard the older you get to communicate. And when you get it all out there on both sides, I think for guys and girls, like I done said it, now I'm scared, I don't know, all this stuff, everything going through your mind, and people don't really give it a second to really just process and be realistic with like expectations. And it's messed up because I'm thinking about that when you think about where you learn or who do you date like and what you're looking for. Me personally, going through all this stuff and getting back out here now, that's why I love to talk to married people, and you hear like it really is a choice to be a good person, a choice to stick in the stuff, because it's a lot of people, men that I respect in my family and everything, and the more I learn about them, I'm like, it's a choice to still love you, because you are a lot of the reason why I didn't have some effed up relationship. And it's crazy to know, like, that's why when everybody with people, it's some terrible guys out here that are also great to their families, great to something, but you got to really look at yourself and realize like that person that you love so much is not very for your good.
Yeah. The whole abandonment issues, I think, drives so much underlying issues that you have with, your mate or your potential, whoever you're trying to start up with.
Just within yourself, period. Because if you don't handle it within yourself, it's going to spill into every aspect of your life, be it a mom, be it a wife, be it an employee, be it a business owner. You're going to always question things that don't necessarily even pose a threat to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've noticed that people who just got to be there for people, like, Sarah called and I gotta, she don't got nobody.
We'll figure it out.
Like Sarah eventually will become resourceful and figure it out. Let's tap more into why you would rather abandon your children right now, than to go help Sarah, who ain't finna offer you shit, but someone to be there for. You know what I mean? Like, you can be there for a person, but it should be a limit. It should be a line where you be like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm shutting off from the world and not care that person cannot reach you. I used to feel guilty to put my phone on D&D. My husband starts saying, just let me know you're going to do that. That way I know when I call you, you either still asleep or you don't want to talk. Prior, you used to be like, ain't no point in you putting your phone on D&D. And emergencies can happen. The kids can call you. But over the years, if you see me being worn out for always trying to show up for people.
And them kids is also grown and older now. It's a little different.
They could call you.
Right. It's a little different now. So I definitely get the transition from don't do that, nigga.
Right.
So, all right. You tell me before.
The immediate issue is never really normally the whole root. We blowing up for this issue, but it's got a lot of other things to do with it. You didn't answer the phone, and you also didn't cook dinner at all this week. Right. And then people, I feel like it's never just that thing. Even like when we talked about like monogamy or anything you want like that, it's never just that one thing. And we don't even always have the vocabulary or the language or anything to talk about all that, because it's a lot. And then we trying to mate with somebody else, and people got whole lives and then been through some stuff and don't even know how to talk about that or even remember
That'd be the problem.
Right. Remembering
that'd be the big issue.
Yeah.
And I've seen is every single, all three of us, our lives could be a Tyler Perry movie, right? Everyone, for real, from different sections could be different movies, right? Everybody on the planet, everybody can, but if you're more concerned with the image of you are okay, I've been through a lot, but look at me, I'm great. If you're more concerned with your image than actual healing, it's going to show in your relationships,
right?
Because the image is fake. It's for other people,
right?
To be realistic.
And that's gonna get tiring. You're gonna only be able to do that shit for so long before you break.
Yeah.
And shoot, when it's a real connection and love, I feel like that only makes you grow more, which brings out other BS. So then you get into stuff and you're like, surprise, thought I was more healed.
Mm-hmm. But that's like, you're right. And so that's my whole point. There's so much to us that we've hid and we've acted like it was okay because we putting up this image. Mm-hmm. And it's not, and like real talk, like everything, it's gonna catch up with you as soon as you hit a wall. Because right now you're running, you're a track star,
right?
running from them, and your stuff is kind of running behind you, chilling, slow.
Right.
I'm gonna get them.
Right.
And you going 100 miles an hour, and you far.
Your heels though.
You can't outrun that feeling.
It's like who was that? It's like what's the Freddy Krueger or Jason? You know how they don't never run, but you run.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop, if you fall or whatever, they own you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how our problems are. You know what I'm saying? And if we're so caught up in just how things look and how things seem to other people and not the actual thing being handled, and that's, we got to understand too, stuff can really be out of our mind.
Mm-hmm.
Your trauma can really not control your brain after a certain point. Like it can be out. But if our mindset is, I'll forgive, but I won't forget, it won't go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it like that, for real, yeah.
It's just what it is. Like, of course, they hurt you, they lied, they cheated, they whatever. And that's a real thing, and it bothers you, it hurts you, and all the other stuff. Yes. And if it comes up, you can talk about it. You know, like it'll be there, but it doesn't have to live in your daily, thinking process.
Some shit should be forgotten. Some shit that you went through should be forgotten.
But after you heal from it, though,
remember
not just move it back how most of us do. We put it to the side and act like it never happened, and then stay busy so we can not think about it.
100%. Once
it can go. It can not be there.
Ain't no point for it to remain within your cerebral because it's just taking up unnecessary.
Well, you need to figure it out. Yep.
Or get to a place of figuring it out versus always playing victim or being okay under that umbrella of bullshit.
Man.
They'll hear me. I say it all the time. I'm like, I'm gonna have to talk to my journal about this because I'm like, girl, I woke up in my sleep dreaming like clearly I'm mad when I'm trying to say I'm not mad or something.
Something is there.
But really, I tell people all the time, a lot of times when I coach folks and they all over the place or can't do that, I might literally get back to pen and paper and write it out so you can create some capacity to think. You sound ridiculous. A lot of the stuff would be crazy. I'm like, just slow down and consider your part or another idea and circle back, especially if the end goal, like, what are we doing?
And then they ain't always got to write it out. Like, there's so many devices on your phone where you can record it just to hear yourself and hear where you are. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of different ways for you to be able to expunge those feelings, uneasy feelings. If you don't have a shoulder to call, because I prefer to call somebody, I promise. If I can't, I can always call Jesus. We know that. But sometimes I be needing a little bit of feedback to let me know that I'm not completely losing it. Because I'd be overwhelmed to the point to where, all right, I'm not normal, even more than I'm not normal.
And my thing is, people get caught up in like, I don't want to do therapy. You don't have to, but I'm looking at like, who do you have to talk to? Like, who is even giving you this information or giving you this feedback? Because I think that's important too. Looking at the people that you're trying to date, who's around them? Because birds of a feather,
they definitely flock together.
I really think we all should consider counseling. I don't think
something you should.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's people who really, really mean well who are giving you bad advice. They genuinely mean well.
Yeah, but I think people get caught up in the words like counseling. I mean, some stuff like this is talking to somebody that has more skills or
more sense than you in this area.
They just got to know a little bit more than you or be able to do that. That's why I feel like even if they don't know, look at the lifestyle. People you getting advice from, do you even want their life? If not, why do you care? If you don't really respect them, I'm not trying to ask you nothing about this if I don't really respect your marriage, your past relationships, or none of that stuff. And people, I feel like that a lot of time with guys. I love to see guys like, yay, bro, or standing up for women. I think that's too, that helps with a lot of those triggers too. When you see guys like, I got a guy out there that's not really trying to get in my pants. He really just trying to make sure you was a safe Black woman, in this situation. So it's a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, probably they be trying.
They get the pants.
He definitely will, but is that his initial goal?
No, I'm sure. Okay, I mean, I do believe that there are guys like I'm that for some women. Yeah, where I just kind of talk to them, but
It be both. I feel bad. I feel bad for being the ally for some guys because sometimes I'm really y'all is goofy over there.
Because I be knowing what's in his head that he be trying not to say, but his face be saying it.
Right.
You know.
Okay, which is real. I mean, but that's why people should get back to playful stuff like that, because it is where guys remember. Like at the end of the day, what did Emery tell us the other day? Guys been trying to get it since what grade?
6th grade.
They turned down since then, and you still want them to be like, why you ain't come up to me yet?
Right, and then you want multiple. I want a man that's gonna do it this way. That's the fairy tale. We've been doing that. Y'all been turning us down, and you get one good shot. If you be like, no, it's like okay, or if it's like weird, it's like okay.
I still just think females need to figure out what it is that they want to do, because I think it's an oxymoron when you say I want a relationship, but I don't want a project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's a clear oxymoron, because it's going to be some wrench work here and some firework there.
And if you don't want a project, then you want whatever it gives. So why are you mad that he cheating, girl?
Right.
And that's gonna be a whole nother project within itself. If you're just,
or like he just goes for 2 or 3 days.
That's another project, because you got to figure out why the fuck he did it. So you got to do research, bitch. That's still a fucking project. So
you got to find out if he's sad, if he's going through something, if it's his uncle funeral, death date, whatever. You don't know, because but if you don't want to, everybody. I think. I've seen it where I've seen a couple articles where they say like stuff like Disney and the media kind of push this fairy tale lifestyle into girls as kids, you know what I'm saying, and unconsciously growing up thinking this is still wanting that, you know what I'm saying. That stuff is.
I definitely said if I could go delusional. Back. Watch Disney, even though it's always got to be a man saving the woman. It's always got to be this passionate kiss, and it's no real communication. He just saved you.
I just saw a good friend of mine yesterday. She was like online. She was like, I just hope I experience real love before I get up out of here. And I was just
that's so sad.
Damn. That's all I said. I had nothing. I'm like, wow.
Even Bernice, 83, and all the kids, and you look back at all these marriages people have, and Bernice has never been in love. And I'm like, it literally is better to have love and lost than not.
Love. Who was Bernice?
My mom.
Oh, you call her up. All right, God bless.
We got older. That's my grandma. That's my friend too. So it's respect. When I'm talking about her as a woman, I'll be like, Bernice, girl, you my girl. Because really, and she even good friends and stuff like that. And that's to admit that, and the people around you, because she's been a good friend to people, but she's never received that in 83 years. Like, I'm the closest thing to it. And I'm her granddaughter for real. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. That really flipped me out. The chick is gorgeous. She's a sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? And I know she's been in some relationships. I know she's been in love, you know what I'm saying? But seeing that just made me say, like, what is your
internal
definition of it then? Because I'm sure you've been loved. But if you're looking at it, love as that fairy tale way where the man is he just knows your every whim, whatever, you don't have to say nothing, then you're gonna get up out of here without experiencing that.
I don't even think it's a lot of that. I think it's a lot of guys that's genuinely not showing these women, like, even if they do love them, they don't know how to show up properly. You can't just go to work and pay my bills and be like, well, shit, I love you because I go to work and pay your bill. Like, to me, that's providing, right? I've seen individuals provide for people that they don't love. That they just are there for,
I haven't.
Oh, I for? Well, yeah, like how these people, like the chick on, I don't know, she on social media, but she feeds the homeless on Skid Row every day.
Okay.
Like, she makes sure they have, a snack, something to drink, water. And I know that she don't, love these individuals. I'm sure she could care for them or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Like, versus how you gonna be with your boys. Like, I don't feel like it's like that, or how it is with your family members, but she provide vittles for them daily, So it's there, but you got to actually show me with a little bit more effort between you and I, not just things that you're going to have to do anyway, just because you're an adult. If I wasn't there, you're still going to have to pay these bills, right? Yeah. So you can't really make me pay for that in a sense. So you can't make me be okay with you just doing that. Now,
right.
You want to show me you love me. Come and lay with me while we watching the show. That's you showing me you love me because that's quality time. That's affection. We're going to touch. We're going to laugh. We're going to giggle. We're going to converse. You know, it don't always take money. Definitely. We know that. But it's just little things to show a person, all right, I am for you. I do enjoy your company. I want to be around you. I don't have a lot of money, but I can offer you this. I get frustrated when a man who got money would rather cook his girl a meal, but she would rather go out to dinner just to be seen with him. Bitch, I'd rather him cook.
So that type of stuff is what I'm saying about my homegirl.
Right.
I don't know that specifically, but you can't tell me that you haven't had a guy who wasn't willing to love you for real. At this point, we're about the same age.
And then what I learned dating before being, or especially coming to a bigger city, I had to give some grace and something, because you meet guys who are almost 40 who either only have sisters or nothing and like haven't been through anything. So me expecting him to check on my daughter, to ask about my mama and do all this stuff, I think when it really came down to the demise, it was like, I ain't never been through nothing. So they literally don't think of somebody else's, they don't think outside of themselves. So I think with people, when you choosing to date and you want to date somebody that got money and can do all of this stuff, you got to really look at, like you said, your expectation of what you think love is and what they're really capable of giving you.
Yeah, because I just went down. If she didn't show a motherfucker how to love her, then yeah, she right. She's never.
Well, you know how to love yourself properly.
That's the thing.
Yourself, no matter what it is, be it the Disney shit or be it, you know, like.
That's how I think it comes off, because I really think a lot of women, I would say, have that idea of love, of that perfect, that movie. I don't know the girly movies, but you know, I'm sure there's some movies
in
where
the bedroom too, all of that.
Well, I'm just sure that there's movies where the boy and girl meet. It was great. She got weird. He was like whatever, and then quit. But then he came back and then fought for her love and da 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 da. Woo, and made all this big old deal. She was still like no, and he kept pursuing her.
Yep, that was me.
Women want that. You know what I'm saying? And that's just unrealistic in most cases.
It is.
I'm sure there are some who will do it, and it depends on how fine you are or how desirable you may be to that guy, how much they'll do sometime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that, having that expectation without saying, hey, listen, this is my love language. This is how I like it. Am I asking for too much from this guy? Can this guy give me what I want? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. If we don't have those conversations and we just really expect people to know, that is so dumb. I think guys do it too, but I swear I've noticed a lot of chicks expecting people to just know. Well, nobody's a mind reader.
They don't know. They don't. I feel like a lot of times, and when I have to ask myself that little question, when I'm mad at why he didn't do it, I'm like, girl, do you even know how to tell him to do what you want?
And that's another thing. They don't know how to articulate, you know what I'm saying, what it is.
He's not.
Right. Because he's a guy and he want to.
Just know that.
Because he's a guy and he's been with chicks, she feels like, you know, but you're a totally different chick from the chicks that he's with. So he's not going to know. And then if he do treat you the way that he treated them, are you going to like it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So it's all in individuals just, as we always say, having that crucial conversation, not worrying about how it's going to make that person feel. Your goal is to get it out. You can fix it later once you get it out. Okay, well, I didn't really mean it that way. I meant it this way, you know. Yeah. Another thing that I hate is because you feel that that's what it is, that don't make it what it is. If I come to clarify what the fuck I meant, then that's what I meant. I don't care how you received it or how it made you feel or how you took it. I meant it like squirrels eat walnuts. Period. Not pecans, not almonds.
All right.
Walnuts.
All right.
But I definitely think a lot of the advice when I think about myself and getting back to dating, back in the day when you wanted a certain lifestyle, even in careers or anything, you need to start being in those type of environments that you want. Like, if you want to be a wife, why are your friends single? Right. Like, how you gonna know how to be a good wife? And then if you need to be, even with churches, I think going with that, if the first lady and the pastor not doing right, why do I want you blessing my marriage? Because you know what? So I think
all of that.
Yeah, like you got to really acknowledge, like be self-aware of the stuff that you're doing and your part in it. And I think people forget that. a lot. Like, ask yourself the question first.
Being self-aware is something that a lot of folks cannot do at this moment.
But you
No,
also,
for
like,
sure.
you can consider yourself an adult if you know, are not self-aware. That's
Or working to be better. Like,
or
what's going on?
accountable, or
I wouldn't say you're mature if you're not.
no, I'm gonna
If
say
you're not self-aware, you're definitely not mature.
you're not
And
an adult for me.
that stuff, you know, that's and because it's so like you can't even have a conversation about the girl's abandonment issues because she don't even know that's a thing.
Right.
She legit thinks she's moving correctly.
Yep,
You know,
no, for
or
real.
whoever, you
And
know, they really think they're doing what's right, and they don't even know that they got the abandonment issues, and then that's what's driving it. And so having a conversation about it is impossible.
Or even I think the first time I had that conversation with a mate, shortly down the line, he started using those things against me. So then it's like, well, hell,
Yes,
I can't never learn nothing else about me because now you fake leaving me. What?
fake leaving. That's
And
funny.
then I mean, but like that little plan, literally, like the band of things even goes to events. If you have somebody that's important and you know it's an event, this is work. Like, you supposed to be by my side. I am a couple. Why are you late to try and razzle dazzle me? Especially, I feel like with people, they have arguments and stuff, and people be not showing up to things. I hate for a couple to be in love and fight and not show up to the main event. What happens if y'all get back together? You didn't cause the whole
You
thing,
done
and my
missed
whole
it,
family
right?
asking where you at, and you can't
Everybody
say that is
asking.
some mess. What I'm supposed to do now? What I'm supposed to say?
They always get back together. That's the part that I don't understand. You might as well just pull your suspenders up on your shoulders and moonwalk out that motherfucker door.
Unless you done, and
And
people
then
don't be done.
it don't be done. That's what I'm saying. So Eric is very guilty of that. You mad at me, so you ain't going. And I used to fall for him and be like, well, I ain't going to, which he won. Then it got to a point where I was like, all right, Chris Brown deuces. Like, I'm now you want to call me all night. You good? You coming back? Can you bring me food? Was it fun? D&D.
Yeah.
D&D.
Well, I love my cousin when she was newly married and she did that, and she was like, I got married for a partner. Like, I'm not gonna keep going to these events being single. I could still be single. Like, what's the point of mating up? I got a forever plus one. So I thought like, it's gotta be some give and take. Gotta keep having these conversations is what really people need to do. People need to talk about it.
That's really all it boils down to, is having these hard conversations, man. And you got to set stuff straight. And sometimes you'll see that the person who you want ain't it. But you'll only find that out if you're having these kind of conversations, which is why you're supposed to have these conversations, but not like an interrogation. Like, you're getting to know each other. So you're talking, you're laughing, you have a couple minutes of tough conversations, then you have more of lightened conversations, or get off the phone. You know what I'm saying? Just so because you don't want to feel like, whoa, babe, whoa now.
They be knowing they don't like them. It'd be a fear of being alone, right? It's a fear of how they're going to receive that conversation, right? But they be knowing ultimately that they don't want them, and that's why the issue is where the issue is. So the conversation just need to be had, be it hard or uncomfortable or whatever. It just needs to be spoken about, because that's the only way that y'all gonna get from point A to point B. Like, relationship, marriage, no matter what stage you are in it. And my advice, be more open in the beginning. So when you get to that 20-year mark, what y'all gonna say, motherfuckers gonna look at y'all and be like, y'all really like each other, but y'all so open and comfortable with each other that y'all don't view it as disrespect. Y'all view it as y'all relationship. You know, because to candy coat is going to build resentment. To build resentment is going to cause you to do things that you're going to have to apologize for in the, later on.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not worth it for me. Like, it's just not worth it. Just talk. Like, and like Emery said, you don't have to be rude about it. Yo, you remember when you had the conversation? It made me feel a way. I don't know if you meant it this way, but the way I received it, yada, 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 yada. That gives them the chance to clear it up. Oh, shit. I meant it like that.
Right. Or I didn't.
No, I didn't mean. I meant it like wop, 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 wop. And then y'all can move on from it.
Yeah.
My opinion.
It's just always tough if you can't have the conversation with somebody who's self-aware and who can be honest enough. because there are times when, you know, you really did mean it that way, right? Like how you said it to me, you meant it to sting a little bit.
Right.
But if I say something to you, you swear up and down, no, I didn't mean it that way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's also a touchy subject because you can't just take them at their word based off of how you felt. Now, sometimes you could just be in your feels and you just be wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's also just good to be honest. Like, I don't like when folks be like, they'll do some stuff on the sneak, or they'll say some slick stuff, and then if you, who is said to, if I respond to, oh no, what's the point of doing it?
Right.
What's the point of saying something slick if you don't want to be addressed?
That's how I feel about subliminals.
Same thing. It's like, why are we doing it? If I say something on my status crazy, like I talk about my ex-wife sometimes, right? I don't be dogging her, but I do be getting her here and there. And if she pop on there, I'm gonna be like, oh, you're right, blah, blah, blah. Right. I'm just gonna say, okay. You know what I'm saying? Versus, oh, that wasn't for you. She going like, nigga, you ain't been with nobody as long as you've been with me. This is all about me, nigga. You know, that would be such that's weak to me. Like, don't say it if you can't back it up. If you know what I'm saying, like. But then again, I'm not a bluffer. I'm not one of them people that play like that. Like, I'm not a bluffer. If I say something, I mean it. I don't play with divorce. I don't play with breakup. I don't play with stuff like that because I'm not dangling that. Like, if we're going to do something, we're going to do it. If we're not, we're not.
I think that's why it takes me so long to make final decisions on things that piss me off. That's why I go back to it and revisit it 2 or 3 times before I just be like, oh, I'm done. Because I'm the queen of I'm done. But I have to remember, all right, wait a minute. Like, is it really that serious, or are you just angry right now?
Grace, give grace. You know, I love to say it.
That has been my patience, and grace has been my lesson over the last 2 years. And I've acknowledged it because I don't have patience to deal with people's shit. You know what I'm saying? So I've identified and I've had to diligently ask for help with my patience, which is why you'll see me take a deep breath. You will see me pat. You'll see me put up a finger and dismiss myself. Because I know me better than anybody in the world know me. I know anybody in the world. Like, I've been with me all my life, so you can't come to me and tell me what I'm going to do. You know? So if you keep poking at this bear, I'm a grizzly fire your ass. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, grizzly fire.
Just saying. That's what I'm going to do because I don't have a cutoff at a certain point. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, it's just, I'm the cocaine bear. Like,
yeah, that movie was so dumb. I couldn't even get through the first scene. You remember when he would hit his head on the tree? I turned it off. That was the dumbest thing.
I only got a few brain cells as the day. I don't need to wait. Yeah. Like, for real. But yeah, this to me was informative because I never really, I think as married people, we kind of envy y'all life when we're going through the hard times and feel like you know what I'm saying? To see someone that can just fly free and float and not have to worry about reporting or caring. Or then when I hear some stories, I'd be like, fuck it. I'll stay with it.
I'm a better
you're definitely winning.
Yeah, I'm better when you better together. Swear to God, you better.
You're definitely winning.
Partner.
In all y'all mess, you're winning.
Listen to us, baby.
Trust me.
Let's stay together.
I promise you, girl.
So this has helped me to actually, you know, be a little bit more grateful for what God has
something spicy to your hubby.
And that's what I've been going towards. Like, instead of making it uncomfortable, I've just started doing things that I didn't do prior to create a vibe between us and to bring him in, to make him not feel guilty, but feel like he got a partner. Okay, you can't do it. All right, I'm proposing it. Let me take care of it. You know, so it's easier for him. And mind you, he'll still come up with some dollars while we gone. It's just to see me take that initiative and take the bulk of it. I think that turns him on more than me expecting him to do it, even though I brought it to him.
Okay, that's what's up.
You know, so, but
dating in today's world.
Dating is a mofo. World.
It's a mofo.
My advice is to be patient. to know exactly what it is that you want to take away, from the whole ordeal. Don't go into it blind. Go into it with a plan. What say you, Em?
I think my idea is just be honest from the gate. Don't do the interrogatory questioning, but you do have questions that you want to know. But you can make it a little fun. You know what I'm saying, on how to find out those questions. It don't have to be like, I got 30 things I want to know. I'm going to ask 15 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because in most cases, the guy or the girl, whoever's listening, they don't really have the answers that you want in that moment sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So just as you're talking, and just be creative with how you're dating. You know what I'm saying? But also be 100% honest. Don't lie.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's always just to be open to another point of view, because I think sometimes we're so stuck in ours that you're not ready to realize that there could be a complete opposite thought to yours. And then also too, I find for me, be willing to look inward first when that stuff that doesn't feel good. Because if you upset, then you should be the best person to really kind of understand why you so mad. So I think if you look at yourself first and then address the issue, it kind of gives you that little space and grace to be realistic.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. I think those were all really good takeaways. 3 totally different perspectives. I'm sure y'all should be able to relate to one of them. If we hear anybody say it ain't no good people out there after this, it's you.
Okay.
It's you. Just saying. But thank you all so much for joining us for another wonderful episode of Crucial Convos. It's your girl F.L.O.R.
It's your boy Emery.
I'm your favorite healthy hustle momager.
Catch y'all next time.
Hey. Drop that music on me though.
Look at them rocking already.